Have you ever wondered why the news plays the same 5 stories again and again? Let me give you a little hint. Brainwashing and repetition is the most basic form of brainwashing. Join me as we look at the news cycle and talk about why the mainstream media is so gutless and afraid to report the truth. Happy Monday. What's up, guys? Welcome to Troubled Minds News. I'm your host, Michael Strange, and this is the show where the conspiracy is the news. And you know what that means? It means propaganda. It means spin, twist, fake news, real news. It means all that stuff and more. And the reason we talk about it is because nobody else will. And that's the bottom line. That is the bottom line. Nobody else is talking about it, so we got to talk about it. And what it just means is that there is, I always say this, and this is true, I think that there's a huge misconception in conspiracy circles, in my opinion, that everything's a damn conspiracy. And it's not. It's not. It just can't be. It can't be. Otherwise, the world is a really dicked up place, okay? And so it is, but it's not. It can't be that bad, right? I mean, we made it here, right? We're here in this spot, and we're doing our thing, and, you know, you're doing your thing. And anyway, point being is that conspiracies are everywhere, but not everything is a conspiracy. And I've said this often, and I mean it to be true, because our job is to determine what of this stuff is fake and what of this stuff is not, because of course the whole baby in the bathwater routine with the media and the stories and this, that, the other thing, like, I don't know, for instance, let's talk about Ukraine for just a sec, right? So what's really happening? Like, there's a whole lot of war, World War III, Ukraine, Russia, yeah, right? So how much of that is real and how much of that is just BS, full on BS, right? Are they posturing? What's going on here? Is this really going to happen? I don't know. So point being is that there's a whole lot of information that kind of flows around that people, everybody wants to claim everything is a conspiracy. And I urge you to be cautious, because it is discernment is on us, and we should give it the go anyway. Give it the old. Make sure that we, yeah. Anyway, blah, blah. I'm Mike. I'm me, you're you, together we're us. As you know, this show is live. We've done this show live as always. This was part of a different show called Troubled Minds Radio, where we talk about the really weird stuff. And this one in particular is the news segment that broke off of that show to just do the news, because why the hell not? Like I said, nobody else is doing it properly, so let's do it properly and talk about news, not propaganda, not trying to tell you what the Kardashians are wearing, none of that stuff, just the news. All right. Interesting news, science news, space news, stuff like that. And then, and some propaganda, because why not? But anyway, as you know, we do this live if you want to be part of the show. Today, it is Monday. Happy Monday. 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link at troubledminds.org. We'll put you on the show. Watching both the phone line and the Discord to make sure nobody jumps in here. Gives me the old hiya, because if you do, no problem. No problem. That's what this is for. It's called transparency. And like I always say, don't expect Don Lemon to take your phone call in the middle of his propagandist spiels. So yeah, all right. Oops. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. Let's go here. Let us begin with thehill.com. All right. Yeah, good stuff. Now, this is, headline is this. Let's pause this video. It's distracting. FBI searches headquarters of embattled COVID testing lab. What the hell does this mean? Has anybody heard of this? What's going on right about now? I'm confused. All right. The FBI on Saturday searched the Illinois headquarters of a national COVID-19 testing company that is under federal and state investigation. Why would they be investigating a COVID testing company? That seems odd, doesn't it? Quote, the FBI was conducting court-authorized law enforcement activity in Rolling Meadows yesterday, Siobhan Johnson, a spokesperson for the FBI Chicago office, said, said to USA Today on Sunday. Look at these ads are just so out of control. The page reloads halfway through. That's ridiculous. Anyway, The Hill, don't make me have to archive your ass too just to keep these ads out. Anyway, the test company known as the Center for COVID Control. Here we go. Listen to this. The Center for COVID Control has received over $124 million from the federal government as reimbursement for COVID-19 testing. The company once operated over 300 locations in 26 states and gathered over 80,000 COVID-19 tests daily. But Akbar Syed, age 35, and his wife Aliyah Siyaj, at age 29, who run the Center for COVID Control, have drawn attention by posting photos and videos on social media showcasing their wealth, including images of 2 Lamborghinis, a 2018 Ford GT, a Ferrari Enzo, and a new $1.36 million mansion. Per USA Today. The Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services have reported multiple deficiencies at the labs, which are also being investigated by the Illinois Attorney General's office and the Oregon Department of Justice. All right, now, lest you believe that this entire thing is all about saving grandma, all right? And again, I am all about saving grandma, all right? Don't get me wrong. However, if you think there's not, I called this in the very beginning of this whole damn thing. I said these words. I said medical industrial complex. And the whole point was, once the money gets pumped into this, you're never getting rid of it. These government programs are too sweet, right? You're propping up all kinds of places like this. Good God, with these ads. Are you kidding me? This is just becoming ridiculous, people. But yeah, okay. So that was my point then. I had a few points way back when this whole, again, January 2020, I was saying, number one, COVID is never going away because we haven't cured the flu yet, right? It's similar enough, all right, DNA wise, that if we could cure the flu, we could cure COVID, which meant it's never going away. Number one. Number two, once you start to get all of this money flowing into these medical industrial complex things like this, right? It's never going away. There's no such thing there's nothing more permanent than a temporary government program, right? And this is, if you think all those testing and shit, it's all free. No, hell no. Somebody somewhere's paying for that because that's the real world doesn't work with things just being free. Does not work with things just being free. And so, well, here we are. Years later, and we have now, and this is fine, right? This is fine because, you know, they're providing a whatever, like a government needed service with this COVID testing, right? Okay, sure, fine, they are. But now, so what's the problem? They're running shoddy labs, or they're showing off their wealth, and showing off their wealth that's coming from these government programs, which is quite obviously a cash grab in so many circumstances. That's the problem? Is that the problem? Oh, I see. You can't expose the corruption of just bleeding hundreds of millions of dollars or even billions of dollars into their friends in the private sector, right? You can't expose that because that's just an uncomfortable truth. I don't know what's going on here. So interesting. It's an embattled COVID testing lab. Weird. Anyway, what do you think? What's going on? How's everybody doing? 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link, troubleminds.org. Let's go to The Guardian. Good God, it's less ads. Thank you, The Guardian. For sale, in case anybody's in the market, a CIA black site where terror suspects were tortured in Lithuania. That should be hot, right? That place should be just a joy. All right. So government prepares to sell barn known as Project Number 2 or Detention Site Violet, which has windowless, soundproof rooms. What do you guys think? Is this the spot for the cult? is this where it needs to be? James, get your black velvet robe and let's do this. A menacing steel barn outside the Lithuanian capital of Vilnius, where CIA terror suspects were once held in solitary confinement, subjected to constant light and high-intensity noise, is soon to go on the market. Hey, check this out. Subjected to constant light and high-intensity noise. I wonder if that's got anything to do with that Havana syndrome. What do you say? Okay, the government's real estate fund, which handles assets no longer needed by the state, said on Monday it was preparing to sell the notorious former black site known as Project Number 2 or Detention Site Violet for an as-yet unknown price. Yeah, this has got to be a sweet deal, right? Part of Washington's secret extraordinary rendition program, in which suspected Islamic terrorists from conflicts in Afghanistan and Iraq were captured and held in jails outside the U.S. The 10-room building served as a detention center in 2005 and 2006. In its windowless and soundproof rooms, one could do whatever one wanted. Arvydas Anušauskas, who led a Lithuanian parliamentary investigation into the site in 2010, told Reuters. What exactly was going on there, we did not determine. What the hell do you think was going on there? Come on now. Come on, man. We knew what was going on there. They were beating the shit out of these people. They were torturing these people. That's what they were doing, right? Notice it has to be in Lithuania out here in the snow and, right, you know, way, way, way out in the boonies, because you don't want anybody to stumble upon your bizarre ass torture ritual site or whatever the hell this is. I don't know. So yeah, they're selling it. It's probably going to be cheap. There it is. Soundproof rooms, windowless soundproof rooms. What's that béarnaise sauce? Some freak is going to buy it. Yeah, probably, right. Yep. And, yep. Sorry, James. Yeah, there's snow. Looks like there's snow. Yeah, not going to work. Okay. All right. Fine. James ixnayed the idea. All right. So let's move, shall we? Let's do it. Let's continue with more news. Let's go to ARS Technica. And, if anybody gets is going to buy that place in Lithuania, at least send me pictures. I want to check out the inside. Here we go. Spinning black holes may prefer to lean in sync. Yeah. Gangsta lean with some black holes going on here. Black holes may be inclined to lean while merging, get kicked as a result. This is a pretty cool graphic here of what they mean. These black holes sort of off-centered and maybe almost facing each other with a little bit of a lean. Pretty soundproof rooms, like a podcast compound, right? Yeah, sure. Uh-huh. That's okay. Drive safe, bro. All right. So thing is this, right? ARS Technica. We got gravitational waves as a result of mass moving through space and time. The mass stretches space and time, causing a ripple effect, much like the bow wave from a boat moving through water. Bow boat, yeah. And just like a bow wave, the heavier and faster the mass, the bigger the wave. Unlike water, space-time is very stiff, so it needs more than an ocean liner to create a noticeable gravitational wave. That means we can only observe gravitational waves from very heavy objects. We know this. Pairs of black holes that are in the final moments of a death spiral and collision definitely fit this requirement. In the last few orbits, the black holes have speeds that are a respectable fraction of the speed of light. These events produce massive gravitational waves, blah, 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 blah. Here we go. The research team behind the new papers used a statistical model to try to propagate the observed gravitational waves to the possible spin orientations of black holes. The researchers assumed two possible distributions of spins: evenly distributed, which is no preferred orientation, and a peaked distribution, a preferred orientation. The outcome in both cases showed that the anti-alignment of black hole spins was preferred. This confirms, although weakly, the model predictions that also lead to spin-orbit resonance. Even in the case that assumed a black hole spin was no preferred orientation, the data favored an orientation of 45 degrees to the plane of the orbit. There you go, 45 degrees. Interesting. And, yeah, Yeah, there you go. What's up, James? Noticed how much news interest there is in the black holes recently? Yeah, well, maybe because something's going to climb out of them. If you're into things climbing out of black holes, maybe tune into Troubled Minds tonight, because we've got our good buddy the Night Stalker on, and what are we talking about? You got it. Lovecraft. H.P. Lovecraft. So yeah, we got that coming up tonight. What we're going to do is exactly this. We're going to take a quick break, and this show is sponsored by you. So let's get a quick word from you. Be right back. More Troubled Minds on the way.
Are you digging the show? If so, you can support us quite easily and at no additional cost to you if you already have an Amazon Prime account. Since we stream on Twitch every day, all you have to do is link your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, and they give you free games on a monthly basis for your personal use, and also a bonus $5 a month to send to your favorite streamer as a way to bring more people to Twitch. And all you have to do is sync up to 2 accounts and click subscribe. Thanks for considering us.
Okay, now that you heard me snuffling in the back there because I didn't mute myself, let's continue, shall we? Let's go to NPR, the most trusted source in government propaganda. Let's do this. What's up? Yeah, crack open an old one. That's what we're doing tonight. Crack it open an old one on Troubled Minds. Let's see. Okay, so here's what we got. This is pretty wild. And again, this is what I'm saying, right? So the government is supposed to be running a lot of these programs like Medicaid and making the prices of drugs reasonable and things like this, right? They're supposed to have an eye on this stuff. And again, I'm not for government takeover of the healthcare system because you see how poorly they run it now, right? And they're blaming private industry and all this shit. But anyway, to NPR here, the most trusted source in government propaganda. This one, businessman and Mavs owner Mark Cuban launches an online pharmacy for generic drugs. Yeah. Good, right? Sounds good to me. The Mark Cuban Cost Plus Drug Company announced the opening of its online pharmacy Wednesday. The pharmacy says it will bypass healthcare industry middlemen and help consumers avoid high drug prices by charging manufacturers' prices plus a flat 15% markup and pharmacist fee. Quotes, all drugs are priced at cost plus 15%. Sign up and share your thoughts and experiences with us, Cuban tweeted last week. The launch comes several weeks after the company established its own pharmacy benefit manager. PBMs are companies that work directly with health insurers, drug makers, and pharmacies to manage drug benefits that have a major impact on the prices of prescription medicines. Oh, you mean there's actually like individuals and companies that are supposed to be doing these things, even though the shit is like ridiculous cost. Like, I mean, anybody know any diabetics that have to take insulin? This shit is ridiculously unaffordable on a drug that's been around forever. And for some reason, even with insurance and all the rest of this shit, it's just incredibly unaffordable. I couldn't believe it. We dealt with some of this recently, and it's like face palm. Like what in the world? Like, how the hell are some people supposed to afford this stuff? Like anything else with healthcare, don't get me started, right? Obamacare, by the way, is known as the Affordable Care Act, all right? How come they charge me and Mrs. Strange $1,200 a month? That's affordable, isn't it? Yeah, totally. Don't get me started. I'm going to get pissed. Anyway, Cuban's pharmacy says it will negotiate drug prices directly with manufacturers to lower costs for consumers. The pharmacy doesn't accept health insurance, but says prices will still be lower than what people would typically pay at a pharmacy. You check that? So there it is. Prices will still be lower than what people would typically pay at a pharmacy, even though they don't accept health insurance. So what does that tell you? It tells me all of this shit is just a big freaking scam, is what it tells me. Again, back to the medical industrial complex. A big freaking scam. And well, prove me wrong, medical industrial complex. Out here in Vegas, they're building a new hospital in every damn corner out here. What's with that, right? What's with that? Anyway, it's like clearly and obviously there's something up with profitability and hospitals because they just keep cranking them out. Anyway, let's continue, shall we? Let's go to MSN. Don't get me, you guys know better. Don't get me started. Healthcare and taxes. Don't get me started. This is pretty cool. This is cameras discover boulder tracks with evidence of earthquakes on Mars. Uh-oh, boulder tracks. What does that mean? Does that mean what I think it? Anyway, there we go. Scientists believe they may have discovered records of tumbling boulders on Mars caused by earthquakes on the red planet. Well, what if it's storm giants tossing boulders into the wind? Just throwing it out there. Anyway, the boulders leave a herringbone-like pattern, thousands of which have been seen, according to research by NASA. The tracks last about a few years before fading away or being destroyed by sweeping winds, and are framed by dust and sand, scientists said. This is the first time rock falls known as a Boulder Fall ejecta by scientists have been spotted on Mars. They have been found on the moon as well as on a comet, but researchers are more curious as to whether the rocks are currently falling or if this happened in past years. Uh-oh. We got rocks moving on Mars. Is it seismic activity, or is it something more mysterious than that? Dun, dun, dun. The pictures were captured between 2006 and 2020 by a camera on board the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter HiRISE, which was launched in 2005. Researchers at a lab in India were able to see details as small as 10 inches across. The jokes make themselves, but here you go. This is some photographs of this, and pretty good stuff. Let's full screen this, and you can take a look. And there you go. There you go. Derek at Target right now just walked by some air fryers, James. $30. $30. Air fryers are great. Okay, so yeah, this is pretty wild. We got boulder tracks on Mars, and what's going on with this? I have no idea other than seismic activity. Let's call it a solid maybe. How about that? That's fine by me. All right, let's go to archive.org because the New York Slimes has paywall. So let's do this. As always, let me know if I forgot to link something. I'll link it. And this is again a part of the problem when we're dealing with domestic terrorism, right? Notice how as speaking of which, like you talk about a one world government, right? And then the question is, if you do have this new world order of sorts or whatever it happens to be, who will they fight, right? Who will the armies of the world fight when there's no other countries to fight, right? Well, it's easy. They'll fight you and they'll fight me because we'll be the domestic terrorists, right? Check this out. Roles of FBI and informants muddle the Michigan governor kidnapping case. Yes, right? Okay, so as always, right, which came first, the chicken or the egg? And my smart-ass nephew, by the way, says, clearly the egg. The dinosaurs were laying eggs before there were chickens. Damn it. But anyway, so which came first, right? The FBI infiltrating this terrorist group to implement the kidnapping of Gretchen Whitmer, or were they already planning this, and then the FBI just kind of rolled in? We're like, yeah, let's do this. So at what point is the FBI culpable for this type of stuff? Because again, right, they take these situations where they have, I don't know, a volatile something or other. You get to these disgruntled groups, right? Even social clubs. I'm not trying to say that all. There's no sweeping all of this or all of that, all right? But I'm just saying, who knows what this would have been had the FBI not got involved. It says, before 5 men stand trial in March, prosecutors and defense lawyers are examining more than 1,000 hours of secretly recorded conversations. All right, 1,000 hours. So how deep is the FBI in this? And how responsible are they for this terror plot? Again, maybe these are bad people, right? We do know that the one FBI agent that was part of this is a wife beater, at the very least, right? A despicable human being, clearly, obviously, right? But he was one of the guys who infiltrated this whole thing. So, and it's causing problems. But anyway, that's another story for another time, which we did weeks ago. But here we go. 2 men descended from the lead car to inspect a bridge on Route 31 in nearby Elk Rapids, assessing what was needed to blow it up to delay any police response to the house on nearby Birch Lake. Later, after team members returned to the rural camp where they had already conducted military-style training exercises, a man identified as Big Dan in government documents asked the assembled group, "Everybody down with what's going on?" Another man responded, "If you are not down with the thought of kidnapping, don't sit here." All right, there you go. There it is. All right, so Big Dan, what's up, Big Dan out there? Yeah, in government documents. If you're not cool with kidnapping people, you ain't gonna be here. So, right, that sounds. If you get people around you talking like that, get the hell out of there as fast as possible. What the hell's wrong with these people? But interestingly, notably, scary, how involved was the FBI informants in this? And did they actually concoct this plan themselves? Right, so it's like when they give they find these foreign nationals and they stoke their passions with propaganda, and then the FBI, and then they give them encourage them to drop a bomb somewhere, and then they give them fake bomb making material, and then they arrest them. Right, it makes you wonder, what if the FBI had never intervened? You think they would have done any of those steps on their own? Well, again, right? It's one of those things that needs to be thought about, needs to be talked about, because it is a dirty trick. It's a dirty trick. Whatever happened to entrapment laws? I don't quite understand the law in that depth or detail. I understand it well enough in a basic sense, more than most people. I did spend some time in college doing law stuff, but the thing is that, well, what is this? I don't know. I do not know. I do not know, because, again, all of this stuff is redacted. They have these fake names, Big Dan. They have, what the hell really happened with this? I don't know. But it is irritating to me that we have these groups meet, and we have just FBI riddled all over the place in these things with, Fed. Makes me wonder about January 6th. Makes me wonder, right? How deep infiltration was the FBI in that movement, right? Not just the movement on that day in particular, but the movement leading up to it, right? And so we're not talking about that. We're trying to hold Ted Cruz and Donald Trump accountable, those type of people. But what about the actual people that were on the ground, stoking the fires of prejudice in the propaganda scene to make all of that happen, right? What about those guys? They're probably federal agents in many cases, right? So what's up with that? Again, it pisses me off. Anyway, let's continue, shall we? Let's go to The Atlantic. What's up? Happy Monday. Hope everybody's doing well. The Atlantic, we've got a little bit of this. Astronomy's most dazzling era is about to begin. All right. Strap in, hold on to your butts. Oh yeah, by the way, 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link at troubledminds.org. All right, let's go back to here. The Atlantic says, astronomy's most dazzling era is about to begin. You got it. The James Webb Telescope is now 1 million miles from Earth and almost ready to scan the cosmos. I'm stoked. Let's see what happens with this. Hopefully we can start. Maybe we'll find Cthulhu out there. That would be so sweet. Here we go. The world's most powerful telescope was ready to uncover the wonders of the universe, but first it needed help from a little blue truck. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, I'm just going to skip these cheeky writers and their cheeky writing. This sucker's 1 million miles from Earth, and it's about to be deployed. So that's a good thing. So hopefully soon in the coming weeks, hopefully, cross your fingers, maybe months, because they still have to align all the mirrors and do all the things and calibrate this and do all the stuff, but it's almost set. So I'm pretty excited about this. Hopefully we can see some amazing things in the cosmos that we've never been able to see before. And cross your fingers that I spy Cthulhu floating through the universe. 702-957-1037. That's 702-957-1037. And this is, that's what we're doing tonight. So, by the way, speaking of Cthulhu floating through the universe, tonight on Troubled Minds, we're going to have our good friend Derek in Massachusetts, the Night Stalker. And he'll be a co-host on the show. And we're talking, that's right, Lovecraft. We are talking Cthulhu tonight. And purple goo and black holes and the whole bit. So if you dig that, well, tune in. You'll be in for a treat at 7 p.m. Pacific. That's approximately, 3.5 hours from now, approximately. So anyway, there you go. I'm looking forward to that one. It's going to be a lot of fun. I hope you are as well. And as we do this, wind this down, you know the drill. We're going to take a quick break. This is Troubled Minds News. I'm your host, Michael Strange. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right. Welcome back to Troubled Minds News. I'm your host, Michael Strange, and let's keep on trucking, shall we? Let's do this. This is from sci-fi.com, and maybe we'll be talking about this tonight. Maybe this will be on the docket. Check this out. This is wild. There are 40 quintillion black holes in the observable universe. More or less. Quintillion. Yep, that's right. That would be, yep. How many black holes are there? It says, I don't mean near the sun or even in the galaxy. I mean, how many black holes are there in the entire observable universe? Turns out about 40 billion of them. And that would be, of course, 40 quintillion. In English, that's holy crap. That's a lot of black holes right here in the article. Oh, well written, sir, ma'am, whoever wrote this. Well written. When I first read about this, I had to think about it for a sec. But honestly, this is right from the article. But honestly, that sounds about right. And it's not made up. It's calculated. That's what a team of scientists came up with when they crunched the numbers. That wasn't really their end goal, though. What they really wanted is the black hole mass function across cosmic time. So, yeah, let's back up a bit. Oh, the black hole mass function across cosmic time. That seems fun. If you look at our Milky Way galaxy right now and counting the stars in it, you'd find something like 200 billion, give or take. But they're not all the same. Some are like the sun, with a few more massive. A few are really massive, say 100 times the mass of the sun, and a lot of dinky ones like red dwarfs and blah blah. Anyway, there we go. So that's what we call a stellar mass function. How many stars are in a bin of a given mass? But it's actually more complicated than this. Stars change, they're born, they die. High mass stars don't live long, while lower mass ones live for trillions of years. So that mass function changes over time. There's an initial mass function, which is, say, how many stars of what mass are born out of a single giant cloud of gas and dust at the same time. Then that changes over time as stars change, all right? And the cool part here is they're doing this with black holes also. It's a little different for two main reasons. One is that black holes take time to form. After massive stars explode and their cores collapse to form black holes. The other is that you make a black hole, it's yours to keep. Once you make a black hole, what the hell does that mean? They don't go away. In fact, they can actually gain mass as they feed on stuff, and sometimes two black holes can merge. That messes things up because now you have one black hole of higher mass, which removes two lower mass ones from their bin in your function. So anyway, mathematically, 40 quintillion. There's your number. 40 quintillion black holes in the observable universe. That sounds neat. That's cool. I like it. Yeah, why not? All right, let's continue, shall we? Let's go to Gizmodo. Gizmodo, one of my favorites, or is it? I can't remember. Google illegally used dark patterns to trick users into handing over location data. State AGs say, oh, good old Google of do no evil fame, right? That Google. Yeah, oh, that's right. But they removed that slogan because, you know why? Because, well, you can't have that slogan when you're just doing evil shit. And here we go with some evil shit. Like I always say, now this is part of what I'm always talking about. If these technocratic companies, all right, really gave a shit about privacy, they would make it transparent and say, look, you could turn off all the tracking stuff. Here's the control panel. Here's the button to find it. Click it. Turn it all off, and we don't track you. All right. But they don't do that. They make it impossible. It's 22 submenus deep, and then when you turn shit off, you don't even know if it's really turned off because they're operating some nefarious shit behind the code scenes. And then on top of that, when they update the next thing, the next iteration of the app or whatever, the phone, whatever the hell it is you're using, that update clears the settings that you changed, so that changes them back without you even knowing. Dirty, dirty, dirty shit. All right. Anyway, so on Monday, attorneys general from Washington, D.C., Texas, and at least 2 other states refocused their sights on Google, claiming the company repeatedly pressures its users to forfeit their location data through dark pattern tactics and other deceptive practices. Oh, you don't say. Altogether, these practices may amount to violations of D.C.'s Consumer Protection Procedures Act and Texas's Deceptive Trade Practices Consumer Protection Act, the lawsuits allege. Washington State and Indiana are expected to file similar suits later today, according to D.C. Attorney General Carl A. Racine. Though Google does provide its users some options in their settings to limit the types of data they share, the suit argues these are insufficient. I've been saying this for years. Thank you. Somebody finally picks up the torch and starts suing somebody. Because, yes, Google, all of them, Apple, they're all doing it. Every single one of these MFers are doing this stuff. Because, right, they knew if everybody just turned all their shit off, if there was an actual transparency button for tracking us and we could just go boop and hit one button and turn it all off, everybody would. And there would go their cash cow. Right? And that's why they have to resort to dirty tricks and say that, oh, when you turn it off, it doesn't actually turn off. Or if you do, and it does, then the next update will just turn all that shit back on for, testing purposes or whatever they want to call it. No, it's dirty tricks. It's dirty tricks. No. Anyway, quote, Google leads consumers to believe that consumers are in control of whether Google collects and retains information about their location and how that information is used. Remember my story about taking your phone to the toilet? Don't. Even in your own house, they're tracking you. The DC suit reads. It continues. In reality, consumers who use Google products cannot prevent Google from collecting, storing, and profiting from their location. You can't, because it's built in and it's spyware. And I've been talking about this in the surveillance state for a very, very, very long time. And once Google and Facebook and all these guys have all of our data and the metadata and the metadata into the metaverse, well, they're in league with, government agencies. So whereas the government agency can't really just, look you up in the database illegally, they probably could just ask Google for, hey, can you give us information on Michael Strange? Who is this guy? What's going on with this dude? What's the thing? And Google, as a professional courtesy, like, don't shut us down, government. Don't antitrust law us into oblivion. Well, play ball and just send the information over. And then it's not illegal anymore, is it? You see, all kinds of weird shit going on with this. But anyway, back to do no evil. Well. Just a tagline, isn't it? It's just a tagline. Anyway, is anybody surprised by this? 702-957-1037. Click the Discord link at troubleminds.org, and there you go. There you go. James wants to know, is he an alien or a robot? Or something else. I actually have 4.5 tentacles on my back. You just can't see them because I usually put my shirt over them. But yeah. Anyway, let's continue, shall we? This is one for the QAnoners or whatever. The propaganda QAnon arm. And the other QAnon not arm, I don't know, whatever this is. So you know how they say, like our good buddy, I won't say his name because I don't want to stroke his ego, but that listens to CNN propaganda and says, oh, well, nobody cares about children being sex trafficked or abused. It's just a fantasy to hate elites, right? Okay, there's that take. That's a wild-ass take. But anyway, yeah, right here in Las Vegas, you got it. Woman arrested second time on charges of sex trafficking children. Yeah, right? No, this is not a real thing in the real world, guys. The hell it doesn't. This happens every day all over the damn place. A Las Vegas woman accused of sex trafficking children on the Las Vegas Strip in 2021 has been arrested on nearly identical charges in a new case. Tori Magnum, holy God, that sounds fake as hell, age 21, was first arrested by Las Vegas police in late March when two teens told police Magnum oversaw their work as prostitutes on the Strip and downtown. Las Vegas Justice Court records show criminal charges against Magnum were ultimately dismissed in the case. What the... Come on, with prosecutors noting at the time that they were considering pursuing a grand jury indictment in the matter, though no charges were filed. Okay, well, there you go. Let's let her back into the wild. And on Tuesday, Magnum was arrested again by Las Vegas police after a tip received by Clark County Child Protective Services in December contended a child under the age of 16 was working as a prostitute in Las Vegas. Yep, police wrote in Magnum's arrest report that the child told a detective she ran away from her Las Vegas home in October and that she met Magnum through other youths working in prostitution. Yep, the child said pictures of her naked were posted online as part of prostitution advertisements. Then from October to December 2021, the child says she completed at least 50 acts of prostitution on Las Vegas Boulevard or along Tropicana Avenue. And again, yeah, surely this is not there's no conspiracy here, right? Like, because obviously Epstein didn't kill himself. And this is the type of thing where these rings are related, right? These individuals work together, and right, like, it's not just your mom and pop child prostitution ring. It's this is a criminal conspiracy, and it is what it is, right? Yeah, there you go. Because everyone trusts CNN, right? Exactly right. What's up, James? Yeah, I mean, and this is what I'm saying. This stuff is really going on. This stuff's really happening out there, and part of this is the truth. It's the truth. It's the truth of the matter. It's the truth of what's happening. And to say people don't care about this if it's not Epstein, you're full of crap if you say stuff like that. It's again a propaganda line to, oddly enough, this is the craziest part, to diminish child sex trafficking, right? To defend the thing. Anyway, God. Let's go to more crazy stuff here. What's up, Brene Sauce? Let's go to more crazy sauce since we got Brene Sauce up in the chat. Business Insider. Yeah, check this out. This is pretty wild. The first pig heart transplant patient was denied a human heart after failing to follow doctor's orders. What does that mean? Joe in Florida actually called into the show when we were talking about this and described this guy as having stabbed somebody at some point. I didn't dig into that. I'll take his word for it on that. But what's going on here? So he was denied a human heart after failing to follow doctor's orders. Social credit or not? Yeah, here we go. Let's see. David Bennett Sr. became the first human to have the heart of a genetically modified pig transplanted into his body this month at the University of Maryland Medical Center in Baltimore. It was a high-risk experimental procedure, but Bennett had nothing to lose by the time his surgeon, Dr. Bartley Griffith, suggested the pig heart. More than 106,000 people in the U.S. are on transplant waiting list for human organs, waiting for the death of a registered organ donor who has compatible kidney, lung, liver, or heart, according to the Health Resources and Services Administration. Even that's a gamble. On average, 17 people die each day waiting for organs. Bennett never made the list in the first place. In a Newsweek essay about performing the first pig heart transplant, Griffith described a severe obstacle that made Bennett ineligible for a human heart. He had a history of being medically non-compliant or failing to follow doctor's orders. Other hospitals declined to put Bennett on the national organ waiting list because he'd missed follow-up appointments and didn't take his prescribed medication consistently, Bennett's son told the Washington Post. The Post report also revealed that Bennett was convicted of a violent crime years ago. There it is. That's what Joe was talking about. Criminal history doesn't factor into hospital decisions about who should get human organ transplants, but the story stirred up ethical questions about who deserves access to the scarce supply of human organs in the U.S. I'm gonna just highlight that, and this was my whole point. This was my whole point. Is this? They say criminal history doesn't factor into hospital decisions. All right. Well, they're saying, should it? So, you understand, right? I get it. The guy's a POS or whatever. I get it. But what about me? What about me? Meaning that for doing this show, they may consider me on some sort of, list, right? Or maybe several of them, for who knows, right? And this is my point. It's extremely slippery slope style to have any of this, deciding what people can get medically, treatment-wise, because they weren't doing what they were told. You see? You see how easy this becomes something monstrous. Easily. Like I always say, academics and their spreadsheets. They're cold, hard spreadsheets where they say, this is the way we save the most lives. Draw the line here. Statistically, the best. Whoever falls off of that spreadsheet, well, we did our best. Okay. Cool story, bro. Anyway, what do you think? 702-957-1037. Let's get one more word from our sponsor, which is you, and we'll be right back. More Troubled Minds news on the way.
Are you digging the show? If so, you can support us quite easily and at no additional cost to you if you already have an Amazon Prime account. Since we stream on Twitch every day, all you have to do is link your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, and they give you free games on a monthly basis for your personal use, and also a bonus $5 a month to send to your favorite streamer as a way to bring more people to Twitch. And all you have to do is sync up to 2 accounts and click subscribe. Thanks for considering us.
All right, let's continue, shall we? What's going on? Let's read the chat. Gibby, what's up? Gibby says, the doctor said, we don't discriminate, we save lives. Oh, yes, exactly. Until they say, now you didn't do what the doctor told you. So since you didn't, we had to take you off the list, right? Interesting. What's going on? What's going on, guys? Yeah, there you go. Night Stalker. Meanwhile, Cheney is on his 6th heart, right? Yeah, right. Yeah, see, now James has it right. So now I'm not that I'm talking about this guy in particular, but that's scary. The doctors could say, quote, patients aren't taking their medicine. Well, okay, but how much does a medicine cost? That too. Back to what I was saying earlier, right, with the Mark Cuban medicine thing. Like I said, anybody know diabetic that has to take insulin? It is incredibly expensive, like prohibitively so, even with insurance, right? It's like, what the hell is going on in this world? And that's why we live in the upside down. And those are the things the government is supposed to do. And again, they can regulate stuff like that without taking over the medical industry, right? But they want you to have the binary argument of, well, look, we've tried and we can't get it done. So the only way we can do it is to just take over the entire medical industry. Then things will be right. Oh, yeah? Ever been to the DMV? Mm-hmm. They've taken over that industry. And, yeah. I'm sure they're super efficient, right? Anyway, let us continue, shall we? What do you think about that human heart stuff, human pig stuff? I don't know. Let's continue. Let's go to CNBC.com. Oh, yeah. Good stuff. Oh, this is the good stuff. Over the weekend, we had a Bitcoin tumble. You ever heard the term buy the dip? I'm not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice. However, Bitcoin climbs into positive territory after falling below $33,000 to a new low. So $33,000 is about, if you've been paying attention, about as low as Bitcoin got all of last calendar year of 2021. And it recovered. It recovered to over 67,000, I believe, at some point, somewhere just before December, end of November, something like that. And so anyway, wild stuff. It took a dump. On Monday, Bitcoin fell to 32,982, its lowest point since July, according to Coinmetrics. But the largest cryptocurrency by market cap was up 5.6% in afternoon trading to 37,000 as broader equities reversed course and ended the day higher. Earlier in the session, the Dow fell as much as blah, 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 blah. Anyway, right? Point is this. Markets go up, markets go down. This is an interesting one because they've said that the cryptocurrency itself can't be traced, and that's the whole point, the decentralization, all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. But then remember that pipeline hostage thing where they shut down the oil pipeline, and they blame the gas prices on that. But then they gave them Bitcoin for ransom to open up the pipeline again, the hackers, and then the FBI was able to just press a button and recover all the Bitcoin. So if it can't be traced, what the hell is really going on here? And who is Satoshi Nakamoto? who's supposedly the mysterious Bitcoin inventor, which people don't even know if it's a real person. Is this the Fed coin we've all been fearing? It's been a psyop all along. I don't know. I'm asking the question. We need to do a show, I think, on Satoshi Nakamoto. I think that's his name. That's the mysteriously invented Bitcoin. And he supposedly has a Bitcoin wallet out there worth hundreds of millions, I believe, something like that, because he was the one who created it. So interesting that it's unclear exactly who created Bitcoin itself. And anyway, there you go. My tinfoil just tangled. My tinfoil sense is tingling. All right, let's go to the BBC. Oh, the BBC. What's up, Daryl? It sounds like a thyroid condition. Good God, I hope not. All right, let's go to the BBC. Julian Assange can ask Supreme Court to consider extradition case. Would they leave the guy alone, for crying out loud? For crying out loud. The High Court ruled on Monday he had an arguable point of law that Supreme Court justices may want to consider. The ruling means Mr. Assange can petition the UK's highest court for a hearing, stalling any extradition for the UK for now. He is wanted in the US over the publication of thousands of classified documents in 2010 and 2011. Now, by the way, look, now, this is the craziest part, right? Remember what I was saying? Where we have this. We have the woman arrested second time on charges of sex trafficking children. The first time they just let her go. Didn't press charges, right? Then they arrested her again for the exact same damn thing, all right? Well, but look at this. Julian Assange, okay, sends out some information. However you think about it, again, I probably think he should have done this in a different manner, but he's sending out truthful information regarding government screwing up, right? Embarrassing things to the government, all right? Killing people, friendly fire, all kinds of crazy stuff, right? He releases this, and this guy is like the international criminal. You see, they pull out all the stops to get this guy because it makes them embarrassed of all the horrific things they're doing. But then this other person, just, let her back out on the street. Child sex trafficking. It's all fine. We're all fine here now. No sweat. You see? And then you tell me the world isn't upside down. The world isn't upside down. The world is a crazy-ass place. 702-957-1037. What do you think about Julian Assange? What do you think about the rest of this? You think they're treating him fairly? What about Snowden? Do you think they're the same? Do you think they're different? Anyway, let's continue. Let's go. Yep. Speaking of Bitcoin and Satoshi Nakamoto, which again is mysterious as hell. If you haven't read into that story, look it up. Satoshi Nakamoto. It's fascinating. Who created Bitcoin? And the answer is nobody knows, except probably the CIA, because it was probably them. Anyway, we've got Cointelegraph.com, and this is pretty wild. Yep, Coin Bureau YouTube channel hacked despite two-factor authentication protection, 2FA, right? It appears this was a coordinated effort targeting prominent crypto YouTubers. Not just Coin Bureau. Coin Bureau, a popular information portal for cryptocurrency developments with over 600,000 followers on Twitter, experienced a security breach on its YouTube channel on Monday. Hackers allegedly uploaded a video with links to scam fiat/cryptocurrency addresses, soliciting a token sale before it being taken down by YouTube. According to Coin Bureau staff, they were baffled by the incident as its accounts were secured with ultra-strong passwords and Google security keys. That's interesting. Here's the tweet from Coin Bureau. Guy.eth is, so our YouTube channel was just hacked. Have absolutely no idea how this happened. All accounts are secured with ultra-strong passwords and Google security keys. You know what those are, by the way? Like a security key is you have to. It's like a physical key you have to put into your computer to even log into the thing, right? So without that, you can't even log into your own thing. So they have two-factor authentication. They have a physical security key you plug into the computer for additional protection and extremely strong passwords. And they were hacked. Yep. It says, YouTube creators, this is a serious problem which other creators are also experiencing. Please fix. Yes, please fix this. Yes, please fix this. This was by no means an isolated incident. Prominent crypto YouTubers such as Ivan on Tech and Real Vision Finance had their accounts compromised within the past few days. It appears to have been a coordinated effort as hackers uploaded a video titled "One World Cryptocurrency." Oh, that's not conspiratorial at all, that solicited the same type of token sales across all breached accounts. In addition, the accounts were all logged in from an IP address in the Philippines, although the VPNs were widespread, which makes it difficult to track exact login locations. There we go. So it's unclear how much the hackers took in as both creators and YouTube quickly took down the scam videos. However, there have been unconfirmed reports from Twitter users claiming losses. One user, James869651119, come on, James, you can do better than that with a name, allegedly transferred $1,000 worth of digital currencies to the fake address posted by the hacker. In addition, the allegations from YouTubers are proven, then it would raise questions regarding the effectiveness of Google's two-factor authentication service. Oh, I see. I thought it was safe. Cryptubers, anybody? 702-957-1037. We live in the upside down. Here's the thing. We've got this. ScienceAlert.com. Let's finish this up with a couple more. And don't forget, tonight in approximately 3 hours, we have got our good friend, the Night Stalker. Derek in Massachusetts will be with myself, Michael Strange, on Troubled Minds tonight, talking Cthulhu, talking purple goo, talking H.P. Lovecraft and black holes and all the rest of this amazing stuff. So if you're into that, well, don't miss it tonight. So let's do this. ScienceAlert.com. We have a sixth sense that is key to our well-being, but only if we listen to it. Oh, sweet. Come on now. It says, let's see, most people are familiar with the five senses, but not everyone knows we have an additional sense called Enteroception. This is the sense of our body's internal state. It helps us feel and interpret internal signals that regulate vital functions in our body, like hunger, thirst, body temperature, and heart rate. Although we don't take much notice of it, it's an extremely important sense as it ensures that every system in the body is working optimally. It does this by alerting us to when our body may be out of balance, such as making us reach for a drink when we feel thirsty or telling us to take our jumper off when we're feeling too hot. Our jumper? Who wears a jumper? What's a jumper? Isn't that like a baby's onesie? Like, what the hell's a jumper? Anyway, sorry if I don't know, but that sounds weird. Maybe take our jacket off? What the fuck is a jumper? Anyway, Enteroception is also important for our mental health. This is because it contributes to many psychological processes, including decision-making, social ability, and emotional well-being. Disrupted Enteroception is even reported in many mental health conditions, including depression, anxiety, and eating disorders. It may also explain why many mental health conditions share similar symptoms, such as disturbed sleep or fatigue. Interesting. This is pretty wild. And there you go. Exactly. Yeah, I have a sixth sense. What is it? I can tell when I'm thirsty. Yes. And no, hold on. And it's not as simple as that, because you have to give it a fancy word. It's called Enteroception, right? That needs to be a t-shirt. Enteroception. I'm thirsty. Boom. So there you go. What's up, Bernays? Catch you later. Catch you tonight if you're going to be around. You're just in time anyway, because we are done. This is the final one. Let's go to the New York Slimes. Yes. Biden weighs deploying thousands of troops to Eastern Europe and Baltics. Yes. Remember how I started and was like, World War III. I saw this tweet. It was hilarious. Somebody said this, and somebody tweeted underneath, like, Biden sending troops to every border but his own. Oh, shit. I had to laugh. Anyway, the president is also considering deploying warships and aircraft to NATO allies, and what would be a major shift from its restrained stance on Ukraine. I saw a Babylon Bee that said that the United States is Biden pulls off a daring rescue attempt to recover the final cash, Hunter Biden's final cash from the Ukraine, final payment or something. The Babylon Bee cracks me up. Anyway, the move would signal a major pivot for the Biden administration, which up until recently was taking a restrained stance on Ukraine out of fear of provoking Russia into invading. But as President good old Vlad Putin, has ramped up his threatening actions toward Ukraine, and talks between American and Russian officials have failed to discourage him, the administration is now moving away from its do not provoke strategy. In a meeting on Saturday at Camp David, the president retreat in Maryland, senior Pentagon officials presented Mr. Biden with several options. I'm sure it was probably after nap time, that would shift American military assets much closer to Mr. Putin's doorstep, the administration officials said. The options include sending 1,000 to 5,000 troops to Eastern European countries, with the potential to increase that number tenfold if things deteriorate. The officials spoke on the condition of anonymity because they were not authorized to talk publicly about internal deliberations. Once again, read that one more time. Leaks. Actual leaks about classified intel and information right here in the New York Slimes. All right. And remember how I always say this. Be careful, because there are sanctioned leaks, because it's called propaganda. And so when they allow it to happen, it's fine. When they don't, they Julian Assange you. You got it? There's a very big difference. So every time you have these anonymous sources, be very wary. One more time, the initials spoke on the condition of anonymity because they were not authorized to talk publicly about internal deliberations. Well, then maybe you shouldn't be talking about it at all. That's just me. That's just me. But hey, then you can't whip up some propaganda, some clickbait bullshit. And here we are. Welcome to Troubled Minds News. I'm your host, Michael Strange. We're about to get the hell out of here. Again, we're doing tonight, a little less than 3 hours from now, we are doing Cthulhu. We are doing H.P. Lovecraft with our good friend, the Night Stalker. That would be Derek in Massachusetts. And, love to have you for that one. If you guys want to be part of that, 7 p.m. Pacific time. And you know where to find us. TroubledMinds.org. Click the Discord link. Hop in the Discord. Also, all the socials are there. YouTube. We'll be on Fringe tonight. We'll be on all the places, doing all the things. And as we finish, it goes a little something like this. If you love the show, you want to help the show, Patreon, Rockfin, Twitch, sub up on any of those. Thank you again to all the people who have done that. I appreciate it very much. And if you want to help the show, that's one way to do it. If you don't want to spend money, there are other ways. Spread the word. Listen to the podcast feed, Spotify, iTunes, wherever you listen to your podcast. There's ads baked in and a few cents every time you download one of those. So do the things. Appreciate it very much. We'll be back tonight with Derek the Night Stalker talking Cthulhu, H.P. Lovecraft, and there you go. Don't miss it and risk upsetting Cthulhu, says Derek. We'll see you guys tonight, and thanks for hanging out with us. Thanks for being part of this Troubled Minds News, and Michael Strange out.